But the pizza oven, when I brought that for the kids, they absolutely loved it. They were ecstatic. It was great. We were able to throw the pizza. We were able to build everything. We made a dessert pizza with Nutella, strawberries, powdered sugar. It was a great time. I know a lot of chefs that cooking is really their way to get in a zone and not have to think about all the other horrible things that are going on in our day. So healing with cooking is a big thing for me. It's always been a huge thing. Dough ferments. The more it ferments, the more bubbles you're gonna have, the more air pockets. So it really doesn't matter how long you leave it out, but please try to leave it out at 2 hours. It'll be amazing dough. You don't want it to be all tight and it won't be good. My name is Elijah Hipke. I'm a pizza chef at Bar Corallini. I'm also an event chef within the community of Madison. This is the layered onion. So the process at Bar Corallini of making a pizza is grabbing our 48-hour hydrated proof dough. So we make our dough out of 00 flour, which is the finest grade flour you can buy. We use water, a little bit of olive oil, and salt. Very, very simple ingredients. Sometimes the most simple ingredients make the best food. Our tomatoes are imported from Italy. You can get canned tomatoes. Doesn't have to be fancy tomatoes at all. Gets a little bit of basil, a little bit of salt. That's what I would do. At Bar Corallini, we don't put any salt in the tomato sauce, but just crushed canned tomatoes, fresh mozzarella, cubed up mozzarella that we stretch every single day. We make the mozzarella, we fold it. So we fold the mozzarella to a certain consistency so it melts at high temps. So you have different moisture levels in the mozzarella, so you need a hard mozzarella in a Neapolitan style pizza oven. So when you have like a New York style pizza, it's got a lower moisture level in the mozzarella, so it's melting faster. So we have to have a harder mozzarella that melts slower. So we throw on, so like a classic margarita, we'll do pizza sauce, mozzarella, a little bit of olive oil. I do a little bit of smoked salt. I don't know if I said basil, but basil. And then, yeah, we throw it in the oven. It takes around 2 minutes to cook. A minute on one side, turn it around, cut it, basil, Parmesan. It's great pizza. I love pizza. You know, talking right now, I might go make pizza with my family tonight. It sounds great.
What kind of oven do you have?
So I have a Uni. So Uni is a great oven. They're a great company. Yeah, solid company. A little expensive, but I mean, if you're making a pizza at home and you love making pizza, it's a good investment. And I've used it for different, I did a class in Stoughton. I did a pizza class. I did a sushi class. I did a pasta class. I did all these different classes. But the pizza oven, when I brought that for the kids, they absolutely loved it. They were ecstatic. It was great. We were able to throw the pizza. We were able to build everything. We made a dessert pizza with Nutella, strawberries, powdered sugar. It was a great time. So
what do you do for gluten-free?
So gluten-free, it's hard. So a lot of restaurants will buy like a disc, a potato crust or a chickpea crust, some different type of flour that can kind of hold up. But you can make gluten-free dough. Personally, I don't make it. I'm not gluten-free. And I hope I don't have to be gluten-free someday. But yeah, gluten-free is it's a hard task. But sometimes at Bar Corallini, we have a gluten-free dessert. I'll cut up the pizza dough, well, the gluten-free actual dough, cut it up into strips, toss it with powdered sugar, cinnamon sugar, make these like gluten-free churro fries. And it's one good thing for the gluten-free people. So the origin of the recipe is my influence from Bar Corallini, having the pasta aspect and learning the different layers of flavor within the Italian cuisine. So learning that, and then also working alongside Soho, Asian cuisine, which has a food truck, used to have a restaurant about 9 years ago, shut down during COVID. The melding of both cuisines to make one cuisine while I was working at both restaurants really gave me the inspiration to kind of go past what I'm doing at one restaurant and meld both cuisines into one. I saw a few recipes man, I would say a couple years ago on a miso mushroom bucatini. And I love how miso has such an amazing umami, nutty flavor. I thought it would go amazing with mushrooms, of course, with the umami flavor. But the bucatini as a pasta in general, with the tube going through it, really, once you get a tasty, tasty sauce that goes through the entire pasta, it just complements it really well. So that was inspiration behind that. Becoming a chef. Wow. Well, I have a lot of family that are chefs, are big home cooks, but I grew up on a farm in Evansville, Wisconsin.
Ah,
So I was adopted at birth from Louisiana, New Iberia, brought up to Wisconsin, grew up on this family farm, a lot of farm to table meats, vegetables, farming every day with my mom in the garden. So kind of having a good structure of understanding foods before even cooking them was a great understanding of just what I would want to do in the future. My dad does a lot of leadership within the community. He started World of Change Leaders, I think about 15 years ago. It's a group that it's a grandiose idea to say leaders of change, like saying, hey, we want to get these leaders and do all this change. Really, the big idea behind that was to put leaders in a position in your own community to do good, to put these own leaders within these communities so we don't have to come together all the time. You have to bring it back from your high school class that he did, from your summer camp that he did, to be able to put that within whatever community you're in. So melding the leadership aspect with the community parts, what I'm doing now with cooking, with learning about all these fruits and vegetables, these meats, these farm fresh, like farm to table type of vibes. So both of those kind of made me become a chef and want to become a chef. So right now I'm trying to go more away from the chef life, working 14 hours a day. I really want to get into the community aspect of really understanding what the community needs with cooking, what they need with resources, what they can get within their own resources within their community. That's my next goal. That's what I really want to do next. I would say a month and a half ago, I went out to Africa. I went with Possibilities Africa, which it gives possibilities to small villages within Africa that don't have big resources like Nairobi, like bigger cities in Africa, which give opportunities where we're giving teachings of how you can plant sugar cane. You can do all these different things within your community to really become rich within yourself. Because a lot of groups have been coming from, I don't want to name different groups from different countries, but a lot of groups have came into Africa with a promise of money, never coming back. So we're trying to really show that you can have possibilities within your own community and with your own resources. So what was it? I don't know if it was summer or winter. Last summer or winter, Yusuf and I went to California. We did the Kosher Soul event with Michael Twitty, which I don't know if you've heard of Michael Twitty. He has defied all odds. He's Black, gay, Jewish, overweight. He has the most amazing person in the world. And he has shown African cuisine and African slave culture of these foods and brought them into 21st century, bringing them to light and really showing what these foods that people used to use as sustainability that other people would look at and be like, hey, that does not really look amazing and appetizing. So we're really trying to bring these African almost roots and African spices and vegetables and things to light again. So that whole thing was Kosher Soul. Everything was kosher. The entire kitchen was cleaned head to toe. It was amazing. And we did this amazing 10-course meal, 2 seatings of 10-course meals. It was absolutely phenomenal. We brought chefs from all over the United States. Yusuf and I were from Wisconsin. We had a few chefs from a few different states and then a few home chefs from California. We did this massive event and it was amazing. So just really learning the cultures, and what I went back to talking about wanting to learn more cultures and learn these different aspects in all walks of life. Learning that African culture and learning that kosher soul culture is like amazing for me. And I'm really trying to put myself in other people's shoes that have all these other cultures, because I feel at the end of the day, if us as human beings don't understand other cultures, how can we get along? You know, that's a big thing that's always happened in hundreds and hundreds of years, not understanding other people's cultures. So with my love of food and my passion of food, I want to be able to do that, to do good within our own communities. Healing is a big thing. You know, high school was horrible for me. I had a lot of bullying in my middle school years. I moved up to Monona to try to get a better aspect on life and try to be around more people, be around more cultures, like I was saying. And after I did that, I really struggled to really find myself, find what I wanted to do. I always loved cooking. Cooking was a huge thing I always did. But healing within cooking is magical. You know, I know a lot of chefs that cooking is really their way to get in a zone and not have to think about all the other horrible things that are going on in our day. So healing with cooking is a big thing for me. It's always been a huge thing. And it's hard to really understand it, because when I'm in the zone, it's just healing already. But when I'm serving food, the passion really speaks. It truly speaks, and it's very, very fun. I really like talking about the process. Like, this one small ingredient could take 6 hours to make, and there could be 10 of those ingredients. You know, there could be many different aspects of a dish that really are fun to enjoy and talk about where I learned this technique or learned this ingredient. Yeah. I have this one story. It's an amazing story. So my mom's friend Yoli Beth, that works at Reap. I forgot her position. I should know it. I've known her my entire life, and I should know these things. She would be mad at me. I have a meeting with her after this, but sorry. Can we go back to the question one more time?
Yes.
I was thinking about her. I want to share another story about her, but
Talking about sort of maybe making pizza,
Yes,
making
yes,
something,
yes,
and
yes.
then you
Okay.
want to draw on the kids if you want.
okay. So my friend Yoli Beth, my mom's best friend. So she sent me a photo of, like, man, I think it was like 200 pounds of tomatoes all in this truck. There was so many tomatoes. And this lady that had this amazing farm had no clue what to do with all these tomatoes. There were so many tomatoes. It was going to be a huge loss for her. So I asked Giovanni if he'd like to buy some tomatoes. So we bought, I think we bought like 100 pounds worth of tomatoes and oven dried all of them. So sun-dried tomatoes take a really, really long time in an oven. Sun-dried, oven-dried. But we cut them in fours, and then we get them on wire racks, and we dry them at a low temp for a really, really long time. And we did that to like 100 pounds of tomatoes. And then another farm contacted me, and they needed to get rid of cherry tomatoes. So we got cherry tomatoes from them, bought them, supported those two farms, and were able to make a beautiful burrata dish. Cherry tomatoes, sun-dried tomatoes, homemade sun-dried tomatoes, basil, a burrata, a little bit of olive oil. It was a great dish, and it was able to support two local farmers that needed to get something rid of, that needed an outlet for a use for the tomatoes. So that was a great dish that really fulfilled my community aspect and fulfilled my chef dream of being able to have amazing dishes and meld those community aspects. So I've had a lot of events around kind of mentoring the youth. I had an event at Troy Gardens, which was a pizza event, kind of showing the steps from making the mozzarella, pulling the mozzarella, making the pizza sauce from the tomatoes from the garden, kind of doing the entire steps, making the fire, doing the entire steps with these kids. It was really just fulfilling, you know. I'm not that old, and like looking at these kids, it's like them in 15, 18 years, this is going to be them, and they're going to look back at this. I always look back at those people that really gave me a chance in the kitchen, gave me a chance to get just a little bit of learning, you know, not a huge bit of learning. These chefs, these people that gave me these experiences along the way really kind of shaped me, show me what I've wanted to do. So really starting out with pizza, for me, I started out on the grill. I was like 12 or 13 years old, and it was the worst experience of my life, but it was so fun, and my family and I had a great time. So we made the pizza dough, had a horrible time, made like 3 different types of doughs. It's very, very hard. You have to get consistent. There's different temperatures you have to make sure you're aware of, but really understanding pizza online and understanding from people that have made these mistakes so you don't have to make these mistakes is the best thing to do. So for me, I like to go on YouTube and I'll scroll through 3 videos of different pizza dough, 3 videos of different pizza sauce, trying to get different pointers from 3 different people can give you a lot more information than just watching one long video, because there's so many different people within our internet community that are able to give such amazing information and really keen information about how to do it at home instead of doing it at a restaurant like a lot of other people. But for me, you know, you can go to a pizza shop down the street and they'll gladly sell you a pizza dough. You know, all they have to do is scoop out a pizza dough and put it in a box for you and sell it. They don't have to do any more work. So a lot of people will sell you a pizza dough. A lot of people will sell you the ingredients to be able to do it. Once I excelled past that grill level, I got a pizza stone. Someone actually gifted me a pizza stone. They knew I was in pizza. They knew I've been working pizza for many years. And they gifted me, and they're like, you know what? Why don't you start making pizza at home and let's have a pizza party and do like games and things like that. So I set on a task to make the best pizza party available, and it was not, but it was okay. So we bought a pizza stone, we put it in the oven, and it wasn't heated up right. You have to make sure you wait like 30 to 45 minutes for the stone to heat up, or it's going to be completely raw. So I learned that off the hard way. 3 pizzas in, wasted 3 pizzas. That was unfortunate. But so you heat up the pizza stone, make your pizza, stretch the pizza, sauce, mozzarella, whatever toppings you'd like, and then cook it in there, and you kind of spin it however you can. I know some ovens are small, some ovens are much bigger. It could be easier, but you kind of just spin it around and hope it cooks. So for me, if I was to tell you to go out right now and to get these materials to make pizza, and you don't have the certain means to make pizza, go and ask a friend for a grill. Go and ask for a friend for whatever they have. If you don't have the money to do it, ask people. They'll help you, you know, make a pizza for them. But if I were to buy something right now to make a pizza, I would buy a pizza stone. You know, it's fairly cheap. You know, it's 1/100th of the price of a nice pizza oven you can get. But buying one of those, maybe buying a small pizza paddle, pizza cutter you're going to need, unless you want to kind of go wonky and cut it all crazy. But pizza cutter you might need. A good...
Use a roller or a couple, how do you...
Yeah, so using a roller is going to be the best bet. If you got a massive pizza, which I'm assuming you're not going to make at home, you're going to get one of those rockers. But nice pizza slicer is always great to have. Finding a tight fitted lid, like a nice bowl where you can make your pizza dough, is nice, unless you're buying it from the store, which I would do, because you don't want to start buying yeast, salt, olive oil, and then you're buying all this stuff and it's like $20 versus going to a place and buying a pizza dough for $1.50, $2. So making these smart decisions to make it cheaper is always not a bad idea. But you can buy a fancy pizza oven. Uni has great ovens. I know Ghazni has been coming out with a lot of amazing ovens recently. But looking at those Ghazni and Uni sites, they have really, really good products. And I've tested a good amount of them. So I'm an Uni fan. My chef at Bar Coralina is a Ghazni fan. So we kind of go back and forth, share different information. You know, he's like, yeah, you got more room in your oven, but yeah, yours looks better. So it's like, it goes back and forth. You know, there's a lot of great equipment out there within the pizza world. So I'm going to give you some tips. Bar Coralini, at least when I'm there, I'll sell you a pizza dough. Fabroni's is going to sell you an amazing pizza dough. I think they have like a sun-dried tomato pizza dough, a pesto pizza dough. You can buy one from Salvatore's. I used to work there on Monona Drive. They'll sell you a pizza dough. Glass Nickel will sell you a pizza dough. So a lot of those places will sell you a pizza dough. That wasn't really your question, but if it's frozen, you want to leave it out. I would say, so dough ferments. The more it ferments, the more bubbles you're going to have, the more air pockets. So it really doesn't matter how long you leave it out, but make sure you leave it out for at least an hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours. 2 hours is the best, but hour, 30 minutes you get by if you kind of run it under some hot water in the bag. But I would say if you please try to leave it out at 2 hours, it'll be amazing dough. You don't want it to be all tight and it won't be good. So my grandiose idea and dream would really be to have all people from all walks of life at one table, to be able to really share a meal and kind of share experiences within food, but within culture in general. Really trying to understand these different types of food genres and food cultures, because I think that's my biggest focus right now. So really want to learn and excel my learning as fast as I can within other groups. You can find me at Bar Coralini in the beautiful, amazing restaurant in Atwood, 2004 Atwood Ave. Great restaurant. You should come on by. Or you can find me on Instagram at chef_James, 3 S's. You can find me there. You can find me within Reap Food Truck. You can find me out in the community, many different events. This is Elijah Hipke. This has been The Layered Onion.